Hey everybody, we back again.
We back.
I'm Spencer, and of course we have our licensed clinical therapist, Naz.
Trash can knives, but they call me Dr. Trash.
It's good. Good name there.
Dr. Trash.
And with that, this is the Different Spectrums podcast, where we talk about movies, shows, and the mental health aspects that surround them. We also like to have some laughs, so don't take us too seriously.
Or do. That's up to you.
There you go. So don't forget to run up those likes for us. We'd really appreciate it. So today, we want to kind of throw it out there that there's going to be some profanity in in these clips that we share today.
Really?
Yes, just a little bit. So we're doing Dolemite is My Name, starring the great Eddie Murphy. Um, this was a great film for him. It was like one of his technically like comeback films
Yep.
for him. Got nominated for some awards. Great stuff. Um, so we're gonna be doing that, and just so you know, there's gonna be a little bit of profanity in there. So don't get mad. Don't get mad out there.
Just make sure you're not playing when you got your children walking around, your children. Or you're like in the workplace or something like that. Make sure you turn down just for that part.
Or put your
Um,
head.
Headphones on. Yeah, it's not really that bad, but he gets
Yeah,
excited in the last scene. So
yeah. There you go. And before we get into exactly what we're going to be talking about, go check out our Spotify polls. Uh, a lot, we usually have questions when it comes to the pod that you can answer on Spotify. And so we would really appreciate if you could go on there and just fill them out for us because you know what? It helps us. And then it also, keeps you engaged with this show as well. So please go do it. And if you're on um, any other podcasting channel that we have, go to our Instagram and comment for us
yeah,
your answers, or just comment in general because we love some comments. Let me
we
tell
do.
you,
We do.
yes.
If they're good ones, I'll respond. If you're trolling, I'm gonna troll you back.
So watch out for some trolling. So please go check those out for us. We'd really appreciate it. So today, like I said, we're going to be talking about Dolemite is My Name. And we're going to be talking about confidence. We're going to be talking about positive self talk, it may sound the same as confidence, but it's a little bit different. A
Yep.
little bit different, right? And we'll get into that. And then we'll also be talking, Nas will be having a few stories about students and some parents, because there's some of that going on in these scenes. So, with that, Nazir, anything before we get into the show?
I like I said, we're gonna do some stories about how parents may talk to their children and
Mm,
how it may affect them and how they may move forward in life without knowing how it affected them. And then they may go into therapy one day and they're like, oh my God, why are my relationships so messed up?
right.
Why is it hard for me to be vulnerable? Am I so self-doubting, so insecure? Why am I always in fear of people abandoning me? Why am I feeling so invalidated all the time? So we're going to do some discussions around that. And then, of course, we're going to tie some things into autism because these can be autism based stories. It can work for everyone, the trauma from upbringing, but
Mhm.
specifically, it'll be neurodivergent focus today.
So let's get into it.
Boop, boop.
Boop, boop.
Booty, boop.
Hey everyone, I wanted to give a special shout out to our collaborator, Two Nerds Candle Company. Not only do they have great products, but they are also giving back to a great cause. You can tell that they take a lot of pride in making their candles. My favorite is Spock's Monday Coffee. They are also donating 10% annually to support Women in STEM, which stands for Science, Technology, Engineering, and Mathematics. You can use our code DSP or go to our link tree to get 20% off your entire order. We think that this company is great, and we think you will too. So go check them out.
Rudy. Rudy. Man, I'm sorry. We was just having a little fun.
Hey man, how my life get so damn small? came out here with some big plans, Jimmy. I was gonna do it all just like Sammy Davis Jr. Movies, concerts, TV, everything. This job at Dolphin's supposed to be my temporary day job. Cut to a million years later, that's all I got.
Still got the Californian glove.
Oh, man, that ain't gonna beat the shit. I ain't got nothing nobody want.
Come on, Rudy. Be realistic. You're not a movie star. You're not an actor. You're not Billy D. Williams. You're a comedy star. You happy with that?
Man, I want more. All my life, people been telling me no. My daddy always told me I was a piece of shit. Just another dumbass country poor nigga. Thought I was gonna be a sharecropper like he was.
I can't imagine you plowing fields.
He wasn't my real daddy no-how. Dirty, rotten motherfucker always beating on me. That's why I left home when I was 15, gonna make something of myself.
Man, we all had shitty childhoods, but that don't mean you can just will yourself into being a movie star.
Well, why not, Tony? Should I will myself into being a comedian? I will myself into being a singer? I even made my own album in my goddamn living room. How come I can't be in the movies? I want the world to know I exist. 24 hours to get out of town, Willie Green. Willie Green, I'm giving you 24 hours to get out of town. And 23 of them is already gone. Willie Green, I'm giving you 24 hours to get out of town. And 23 of them is already gone. That's good. You got 24 hours to get out of town and 23. 24 hours to get out of town. 23 is already gone, motherfucker. 23 is... You dirty motherfucker. You told me I wasn't shit, huh? You the one that ain't shit. Look at me now, motherfucker. You wanna know who I am? I'm Dolemite. Fucking farmer. Dolemite is my name, and fucking up motherfuckers is my game. You no business born, rat soup eating, insecure motherfucker. Dolemite is my name, and fucking up motherfuckers is my game. No business born, insecure, junkyard, rat soup eating motherfucker!
Hey everyone, before we get into the show, please check out our collaborator, Bubs Naturals. They sell a variety of health and wellness products, including collagen peptides, MCT oil powder, coffee, apple cider vinegar gummies, and other amazing products. Go to bubsnaturals.com and use our code DSP20 to get 20% off your entire order. And with that, let's get into the show. And we back again.
We back and we're live. Just as live as Anakin in that last episode of Ahsoka.
Spoiler alert. Actually, you know what? I actually just saw a commercial for it that they just revealed it. So I'm like, okay, so they just want people to watch the episode. It's fine.
There was a commercial for Ahsoka when I was watching Ahsoka, and I'm like, this is misplaced.
You're like, wait a minute. That's not right.
We're back and we're live. Just like Anakin. Oh, Anakin.
Oh, and which we will be talking about that at some point. Yes, we will. So before we get into it, please go check out our great collaborators. We got Bubs Naturals, Cure Hydration, Pinfinity, Silver Dollar Candle, Two Nerds Candle Company, and Cat and Raven Company. All great. All you can actually, most of them, you can get up to 20% off your order if you use the code DSP or DSP20, or by clicking the link inside of our link tree. We have a lot of great resources on our link tree, so go please check it out. Give you some things to do on there. So do it.
Work on yourself.
Also, Also, please go check out our merch. We have a lot of great things on there. We have our different, not less sweater and t-shirts and stickers for that too. So
We do.
go check out some of our stuff that we have. We have some really good graphics tees, really good hoodies because it's starting to get cold again.
It
So
is
hey, go check it out. And they're fairly
different,
priced. So,
fairly priced.
yeah.
Different and less.
We should make that one. Just different and less.
And less.
Never thought about it like that. Well, okay. And that's why you're in therapy.
That's
All right.
why you're in therapy. Okay. I keep them coming back.
It's
It's a good
Here's a
business.
t-shirt.
Yeah.
Back anytime.
Here's a t-shirt. Come back. Did I help you with your problems today? Well, I was talking to a client the other day. First 15 minutes, I think we just talking about food.
Fair enough.
I gave him an extra 15 minutes because we needed to do therapy, but the first
Yeah,
15
of
minutes we
course.
were just chatting about food. It was a good time.
There you go. Yeah. Open them up a little bit, talking about some crabberhead goons or some shit. I don't know.
So let's talk about why your daddy don't love you.
Started off at the dinner table. Like, that's why. I gotcha.
Yeah, okay. Yeah. It was a
All right.
cold Tuesday, 1975.
How old are they? All right. So with that, let's get into it. All right.
Let's
So
do it.
today we are going to be doing a couple scenes from the movie Dolemite Is My Name, starring Eddie Murphy. So this movie's all about Rudy Ray Moore, who is in the beginning of the movie kind of a failed performer. He does comedy, he even sings and stuff like that, but it all doesn't really go anywhere. Until one day he finds these homeless people that have all these different stories that do all these different jokes, and he actually takes on the persona called Dolemite, and he becomes just like this underground sensation, and through comedy, and he starts doing it. And then one day he's like, you know what, why don't we make a movie? Right? Why don't we make a movie and, get all the cool things that we want to, like kung fu, anti-establishment, and some ladies.
Everybody like lady now.
Right? And so it took him a while for him to actually get this movie even filmed, because a lot of the people that he filmed with have never done a film before. It's like in the 70s, so of course, like, filmmaking's a little harder to do. And so we'll be getting a little bit more into that, but then in the end, he actually gets to release his movie, and it's a huge success, and made like 7 other movies or something like that, as the Dolemite character. So pretty cool story. And it's all based off a true story.
True.
Yep. True story. And I think even Eddie Murphy knew Rudy Ray Moore, or he told him like, hey, I'm going to do a movie about you. And this was when he was alive. He was just like, who the fuck is going to see that? So it's a great story, and Eddie Murphy does a great job in this role. So
Where can I find it at, Spence? We need to start telling people, where can I find it at?
yes, you can find it on Netflix. It is actually a Netflix original.
There it is.
There you go.
Shawnee.
Yeah, let's boost Netflix's numbers right now. That's good.
They need it.
Writer strike.
Oh, that's right. be all
You not helping us right now.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, we don't have writers anyways. Fuck them.
Jesus.
Nah, I'm kidding. All the writers, you're doing great work.
We support it.
Yes, we support. We don't give you any money, but we support.
100%.
All right. So first scene that we take a look at is after Rudy kind of gives the idea to his friends. They're in a diner, and he gives the idea of, hey, I want to take this Dolemite character and do some comedy. I want to do some comedy. And, like 2 of them just don't think that's a good idea. And they start just kind of talking mess. Say, gosh, so stupid. People on the podcast are going to be like, why is he not talking? Take a look at the YouTube video, folks. You'll see why.
Yeah.
All right. And so his friends kind of tell him like, we don't think that's a good idea for you. People aren't really gonna think that's funny, all that shit. And he goes, well, you know what? Fuck y'all. I'm gonna do it anyways. Um, and then he kind of gets into the scene about um, him not being big, and he's just in this small box, and he feels small, and he wants people to see him and see who he is, because he had big dreams and high hopes for his career, and they just haven't panned out. I love this scene because it's I mean, I think we've all kind of gone through this, but it's I like this story overall because Rudy at this point in his career is a lot older, and he's not the most in shape guy, which makes a difference. Like in the second scene that we watch, kind of gets told that. But question for you, Nas. What have you kind of seen through? Have you ever? Let me phrase this a little bit differently. What have you ever kind of been at this point in your life where you just feel like you're in that small box, and that you don't really see the light? I know you've talked about like your past and stuff like that before, but do you ever have those moments still?
It depends on how I take that, that question. It's a loaded question. So
Mm.
there were moments in life when I was young, and before my dad was back in the picture, where I would beg not to wake up,
Mm.
beg not to wake up. I would pray not to wake up. That reminds me of those tough scenes. But I think more about when you just feel like you're boxed into a corner. I think that's more in university. I had gotten kicked out of school, and I remember getting into trouble, and I remember just being like, I'm fucked. And I remember I had to move in back with pops after I got kicked out of university in 2008, and I'm just sitting in the apartment, working with him, and it was just like the worst disappointment and shame ever.
Mm.
And like Dolemite said, I ain't got nothing. Don't no one want what I got.
Mm-hmm.
And then fast forward, I do my couple years of community college, get some good grades, got 2 associate's degrees, one in science, one in psych. And then I remember going to the big school out in Grand Rapids, west coast of Michigan. I remember walking on campus like, fuck, I got 3-year bit. So, Pops, when he talks about prison, it's bit. You got 10-year bit, 5-year bit. It's bit. How long is your term? So for me, it was a 3-year bit. I don't know how I'm going to get through this 3 years. This a long ass 3 years. I remember sitting in class in my first chemistry class, and I've already had a bunch of chemistry and did fine. It was my first one at the big school, and I'm like, what the hell?
Right.
I'm looking at motherfuckers in class like, oh, this shit ain't. I'm in the wrong class. This
Mm-hmm.
y'all talking about shit I ain't learned, and I was getting A's in community college.
Mm-hmm.
Again, people don't want the shit that I got. In saying that, I mean, I was driving a real nice car at that time
Mm-hmm.
because I was working with pops and we were making some money, and that was good. But it was still you're just not in a good point with school, and
Mm-hmm.
school is the reason why I was doing things. Nowadays, it's not like that.
Right.
Nowadays, I live good. Not to show off to folks, but I live good, and so people want what I got.
Mm-hmm.
They want, like a house, a new car. They want like stability, financial freedom, vacation time. So I'm not in Dolemite's position anymore. I'm in Dolemite when he hits it big.
Right.
He gets all his dreams and stuff like that, right? I was thinking about it when I come from the gym a few minutes ago. I literally have almost everything I've ever wanted
Mm-hmm.
when I started college. Just a few more things I have to knock off. And I just got my license approved to work in the state of Michigan, so it's all getting ready to happen. But
Right.
Dolemite, I think we've all, like you said, been Dolemite in that moment. I got nothing.
Right.
Don't no one want this shit that I got.
Mm-hmm.
No one want it. The other day, everyone who listens to the pod, they know Pops is disabled.
Mm-hmm.
And I said something about me working out, and my legs hurt. And he said, I'll trade you. Oh, shut up, man. He said, no, you complaining and shit. We can trade lives and you can be in my position with my legs. And I said, yeah, I'm good. He said, okay, you shut up.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of people out there. I guarantee you a lot of people that listen to Pod Spence will feel that scene. It's a very literal and metaphorical scene for people to relate to. Got nothing.
Yeah.
I thought it was going to be this, and I've been working at fucking Walmart for 10 years. I came here to do this, but somehow I'm like still at Walmart. Not saying that Walmart's a bad job, but if you had aspirations to do more than that, what got in the way of you moving forward in that ladder? What stopped you from moving forward? Maybe it was kids, maybe it was a relationship, maybe it was health, maybe it was family stuff. Okay, that's fine. But can you get back to that next step like Dolemite does in these next few scenes?
Yeah, totally.
That's what that scene made me think of.
Yeah, totally. And yeah, like you said, I think we've all kind of had our moments where we felt like that. And it, and it's odd because we're not at, we're definitely not at his age yet, right? And yet we've still kind of felt that, like we felt like our dreams and aspirations might not be coming true.
Yep.
And I wonder though, what would you take? Like, how do you kind of credit that to people, like kind of feeling like even though they're younger and they have plenty of time to actually do things with their life, they still feel like they haven't done anything yet?
I guarantee most students, most young folk under the age of like 25 feel like that. Because in actuality, you might not have done actually much. You went to high school. Some of y'all might have went to college. Some of y'all are working right now. So there's not a lot of opportunities and there's not a lot of money. So like, what do you do? So you're still building the foundation, most of us in those ages.
Right.
Unless you're privileged and you have, family with like some money and stuff like that, then you can like do and have more fun. But it's really foundational those years and you're building something. So that way up and up you go.
Yeah.
And then it sets the foundation for affluency, money for your
Yeah.
future generations. I was talking to a homie today and it was about like not being so focused on the outcomes. So I was talking, basketball student likes basketball. I was talking about Kobe Bryant, not being worried about the outcomes. I'm like, what are you doing today? Like, what do you mean? Well, I'm like, okay, you want to be this fucking rocket scientist, because most of my students are legit aerospace engineers, or engineers or some type of working on satellites. They're all like smart. I'm just like, damn, okay. But you want to get all these shiny ass jobs. What are you doing today? You sitting here prognosticating and fantasizing about what you could or should do. When in actuality, you need to just pass this class this week.
Right.
But you need to just like study and probably read that book today. That way you pass the next class, this next test, and then you get to the next class, and it all builds. So I feel like a lot of people that are in Dolemite's position, you're just setting up the dominoes so that way when it comes time, you can knock them all down and move forward.
Do you think though that kind of look a little bit too forward though?
Most people
it's
do.
Like you want to have dreams and everything like that. I totally get it. You want to have goals. But I also think that people kind of put a little bit too much weight on themselves.
They do.
And I think that's where we kind of go wrong, especially at a young age. Instead of being like, these are the building years, they kind of go like, I need it now, or else I failed.
Is no now.
Right.
There is no now. You got Spence, you got to build it, and build it.
Right.
Boy, I was doing a presentation with RAs the other day, just doing a talk. It was just a one-on-one talk on them taking care of themselves. Because RAs go through a lot of shit in these colleges. They got to see a lot of stuff, work with a lot of stuff. So I'm talking to them, and the one kid, I'm like, y'all got stress? And the one girl goes, everyone says yes, and they got anxiety. One girl's like, no, I'm pretty fine. Everything's good. I'm like, you full of shit. Because I asked you to talk, and you freaked out. So you got some anxiety. One boy, though, I get to him, definitely neurospicy. And this isn't the reason why, but I'm like, what about you? He's like, no, I'm good. I'm like, oh, you good, huh? Oh, okay, so you just chilling, huh? And so I'm teasing him, and he's playing on his computer while I'm talking, and I kept throwing it back to him like, hey, you can be like homeboy over here, no stress at all. And he just keeps typing, and he looks up and smiles. And I asked him, I said, why ain't you got no stress, man? And he goes, because I don't need to be the best at everything. He said, long as I pass these classes, I'll be solid. I'm gonna get this degree in this, then this master's thing that he's got planned out. He said, I just need to do good enough and I'll still get the job that I want and everything. I don't need to be the best. And yet he still has high goals, he said, but there's not the pressure to kill yourself to get there. He's like, I'll get there. And he's going to be a fabulous pharmacist. This isn't a client, so I can speak about it. He's going to be a good pharmacist, and you're going to continue to move on. Where everyone else, they said they were dying and burning themselves out to achieve, and they were overworking and joining all these clubs and all that. And the other boy's like, that's intense. I don't do that. I kind of do my school stuff. And he said, I just like to stay in my room and chill. And he was like, I ain't trying to go outside. It's hot outside. And I was like, you're right. It's hot as shit outside. And everyone else was like, this guy's weird. I'm like, nah, this kid's neurospicy. It's fine.
He's one of us. It's fine.
He's one of us. The pressure will kill you, though, brother.
Yeah.
The pressure and the fear of not achieving that goal. And it's fine if I was talking to, like I said, a homie today. You want to do this one thing, and maybe you won't do that one thing. Maybe you'll be, parallel to it in a different field, but the same thing. I thought I was going to be physical therapist working with collegiate or professional athletes. Now I work with a lot of athletes, but on their mental health. It's almost parallel.
Right.
The goal was to open up my own company and a gym. I'm still doing that. It's not the way that I wanted, but it's a different way, and it's still a way.
Right.
Just because you might not have something that people want now, in actuality, your life that you have now is probably someone else's fantasy.
There you go.
Real
Look at
talk.
that. Yeah, for real. Totally agree. Totally agree. And some people just don't understand that you don't have to have just a straightforward path to something. It can always go, it can jump around, it can twirl, it can do everything, right? So
twirl.
Definitely. Like, I'm about to get to my goals. All right. Let's take a look at the next scene.
Let's do it.
So the next scene, so Rudy has succeeded in being an underground comedian. He's very popular with people. He's even the record companies, they didn't want him to sell they didn't want to sell his records for him, right? So then he had to start doing things on his own. He pressed his own records, he sold them himself, sold them to everybody that he could, and then he started doing his own comedy tour until somebody actually noticed, and then he got his own management group and stuff like that. Now he's looking to actually find somebody to bring into the film industry for him, and create a Dolemite movie. And this is a part in the scene, of course, with T.I. having a lovely wig and beard on there. He's pretty much telling him no, we're not really going into what your movies are anymore. At the time, there were these films called blaxploitation, where it was mainly black casts, and they talk about different things that are going on in the lifestyle of black people around America. A lot of great films like Shaft. One that I really love was what was it? It was, oh my gosh, it was Curtis Mayfield's doing the album. Oh my gosh, Superfly. There it is. Superfly.
Oh yeah.
All blaxploitation films, all fantastic. Go check them out. Actually, you probably won't, because if you're, they aren't really. Some of them didn't age well. All right, some of them didn't age great. So right. maybe take a look at the posters. Even then, they'll probably be like, "What the fuck is this?"
Do some window shopping, motherfucker.
But then he gets turned down for trying to create a black film for people, and then, of course, then we see him walking with one of his friends who he's come up with, and he's telling Rudy, being like, you're a comedy star. Why don't you just stop there? You can stop. And of course, Rudy is just like, no, why would I want to stop when I can do more? I can do more. I've done all this by myself. I can build myself up to be more. I was told by my father that, I wasn't shit and I wouldn't be anything. But now look at me. I'm one of the most popular like underground comedians out there right now. Um, so for you, Nas, you've definitely talked to a lot of students, talked to a lot of clients that might have parents that might be like Rudy's,
Yeah.
right? Where they kind of want to bring them down. Do you have any stories for us kind of talking about that where, you have to, as a therapist, help build their confidence while at home, the parents are, wrecking it essentially?
Yeah, it's communication with a lot of these parents, so they'll tell you like the parent's narcissistic. They'll tell you that the parent's emotionally abusive or neglectful,
Mm-hmm.
maybe a little violent, emotionally like violent and yelling, swearing. Sometimes the parents are actually very loving and sweet, but since they're so anxious and like protective, they just over and over just grind on the person and ask them questions and questions and questions, just a lot of anxiety, which then
Mm-hmm.
drives my clients to be anxious and insecure because they think they're always doing something wrong because their parent is always correcting them or always adding on to it. So it just depends. What is really common is that, oh, like, okay, cliche. Like I just talked to a client. I said, I know, cliche. Your parents messed you up. I know, I get it. And they're like, yeah, no, we've been over it now. So I'm like, I know, but and they're like, okay, now that I know this, and me and you've worked on it for like, a couple of years on and off, like, why isn't it better? And I said, you sure it's not better? Well, what do you mean? I said, it sounds like it's better. Sounds like you're communicating better in relationships and you're not being as needy as
Mm-hmm.
you used to be, and you're not being as emotionally manipulative yourself. They said, well, I wasn't emotionally manipulative. I said, what you just said is emotionally manipulating. You're playing games in these relationships whenever you think that they're distancing yourself, and then you make them feel like you're distancing yourself from them to punish them, and then they come back to you. Those are games.
Mm-hmm.
But folks that have this weird dynamic in childhood, and even as you become young adults, is the communication's poor. And it leads into poor communication with your intimate partners and friends. It leads into this game, this tit for tat. This, you do something for me, you call me first, and then I can't send you 2 text messages because of this and that. Always that fear of abandonment.
Mm-hmm.
Always the fear of being invalidated over and over. So Dolemite, it's a wonderful scene, this part, because it shows him saying, my father said I'm gonna be shit. And I
Mm-hmm.
want people to know who I am. That someone that's screaming out to the world, I want to prove him wrong in the most absurd way, the most fabulous, flamboyant, extroverted way there is.
Mm-hmm.
Go fuck yourself. My clients usually don't go that route. It's usually affecting the relationships and the dynamics moving forward. So
Mm-hmm.
let's say if Dolomite was my client, Spence, you're probably going to see either a lot of weird relationships and a lot of fights, or you're going to see him being like a pushover, or you're going to see him not getting involved in relationships and avoiding personality issues because he doesn't want to be hurt, but he's focused on a goal. I'm
Yeah.
not saying that any of them are bad. I'm just saying that the dynamics of childhood could then affect you. There's someone recently come in and this is common for a lot of folks, but they say a few stories. I'm like, okay, so here's a story for you. And they said, what? Someone in your position that may have a sibling or family member that's disabled, they get more attention. And when those folks get more attention, that means folks like you or I will have to be better. And like, what does that mean? That means that the attention is on them. So we kind of make ourselves and mold ourselves to be more autonomous, more easier for the parent, because the parent already has a lot of shit to deal with the other kid. So we try to make ourselves more autonomous, more self-sufficient. That way we can ease the burden on the family. What happens in that is we can become very good at being alone, or we can become very good at always neglecting our needs because we're always trying to help everyone else out. So we become people pleasers because we have adapted to helping the family and never really wanting any attention because the other kid needs attention. There was a movie with this that explains this very well. Oh, actually, there's a TV show too. Atypical. the neurodivergent show, the autism show with the young boy. The daughter story is one of who gets pretty neglected. She goes through depression, suicidality. There's a bunch of stuff there. There's also the one with Matthew McConaughey, I think. It was called like Wonder Boy or something like that. It was about the kid with the deformity.
Oh, so that was with Owen Wilson.
Owen Wilson, a white guy with a weird nose.
Good child.
Yeah, white guy, weird nose. And then who was the mom? Wasn't it like
It was like Julia Roberts or something, I think.
it was like one of them famous white lady.
One of them white ladies. The
One of
chick who played in Pretty Woman. She was the
one of them famous white lady. So again, that one, it goes to show you the story of the child that gets neglected, which is the daughter on that one. It can go many different routes, but if we're sticking towards the abuse in Dolemite, so a lot of my neurodivergent kids that don't get validated, Spence. They get seen as weird or awkward, or that's a stupid thing to be interested in. We need to get a job. You need to be more masculine. You need to be louder. You need to be quieter. Who gives a shit about these Pokemon? I brought that up because the skateboard you just talked about. Who gives a shit about, your drawings? Who cares about that? One of my clients, I say one and I mean thousands. I said, you talk to your pops about that? And they said, man, forget him. I said, what's up? He said, I don't want to talk to him at all. Every time I talk to him, it's negative. I ask, how are your classes? And then the kid will say, they're good. Oh, good, keep it up. And then they'll start going into finding something wrong with the child, so that way they can like baptize them with negativity. I said, well, maybe they're trying to help you out. He said, no, he ain't trying to help me out. He's literally just trying to bring me down. Because if I say that I'm not doing well in class, then he yells at me. I said, yeah, that's not trying to help you out. So a lot of my students will avoid their family members or set boundaries as they get older. This kid can't wait to leave. And I said, that's right. And there should be no shame.
Yeah.
I hope a lot of people set boundaries with their parents because they're toxic as fuck. Thankfully, with many of my clients, it doesn't affect their relationships too bad. Like some of them are just still oblivious and still loving, and they'll still open up to other people. But most of them, I would say 40% are still caring, 60% are more closed off. And that 60% are the tough ones to work with. So some of the more recent individuals is, as I said, how do I identify this as an issue? How do I get better at it? I said, you continue to talk and have open conversations without getting super pissed, without running away and playing games or hanging up the phone. Does it make sense? You're a grown-ass woman now. What are you doing? Well, they made me mad. Okay, well, let's talk about it as grown-ass folks. You're grown now. You ain't no little-ass kid running away crying and then slamming your door shut. That shit don't work no more.
Right.
How do we regulate and then have grown conversations? And you'd be like, okay, so why have I got better, but how? And I said, because you're having these grown-ass conversations with me all the time about emotional intimacy. We're talking all the time about emotions and feelings and thoughts and processing things. And I'm pushing you to think about anger, sadness, volatility. I'm pushing you to confront bosses and friends. This is what you need to do in relationships. These are the things that you never used to do because you would just take a verbal ass whooping.
Right.
Such Dolemite. Such Dolemite. I think in the next scene, we'll see Dolemite where he's actually mentally and emotionally fighting his dad, but just in the mirror.
Yeah.
Technically, that was therapeutic for him, which we'll talk about.
Yeah.
All that makes sense?
Oh, yeah. Totally makes sense. And I think that, I think they all need, obviously tons of people need that validation from somebody. They need that from somebody, whether it is a parent or if it's somebody outside of that. But we really wish that it was our parents that would give us that validation from the jump.
You wish. And parents, they don't always have to come correcting your shit. Sometimes they just need to sit there and listen and support. Right. So, I told a student today, so mom gonna come with that bullshit and she's gonna become overbearing. I said, validate them on what they said. And acknowledge it, validate and acknowledge, and then empathize that they actually just love you and they want you to do well. So they get real repetitive because they're neurodivergent too, because they're trying to protect you. I said, for the podcast, me and Spencer are going to do a scene from Godfather. This is where my dad gets it. I said, we're going to do this scene soon. But they keep going over it and over and over and over it. Some parents do it out of love and protection, but some would do it. They're just mean, man. And the children are just extensions of them. And if you don't follow the normalities of what that parent did,
Mm-hmm.
they may degrade you, or they may make you feel incompetent, ignorant, like a no one. Some parents, real talk, some don't want you to do better because that brings shame to them.
Mm.
They could have did better in their life, and you did better, and then they get like weirded out and jealous.
Right.
I've seen that with clients, where the
Yeah.
kids will want to go to college and they'll want to go away for college. Parents are like, you ain't going away. The kid's like, I want to go to this college. I got money. I got a scholarship. I'm going to this college. And then the parent will legit cut them off for going to a college that they paid for.
Mm-hmm.
And which is funny, in Black and brown families, Indian, Asian, but specifically Latino families,
Mm-hmm.
it's very family oriented. So for you to leave is fucked up. And then the whole family thinks that you're the piece of shit because you didn't stay with the family, even though I'm getting educated and none of you else got educated, but somehow I'm the piece of shit for setting a boundary with mom. I'm not talking about my story. I'm talking about other Latino stories.
Mm-hmm.
Technically, it's the same story as me, but it's a different story for a different day.
Right. So, kind of speaking still on that, it's just like, hey, are you a nerd? Do you like pins? If you're like any of our followers and you said yes, you should check out our collaboration with Pinfinity. They have Power Rangers pins, Transformers pins, and for all of our bronies out there, My Little Pony pins. Go check out our link tree or use our code DSP to get 20% off your Pinfinity order today. Hey everyone, thanks for watching our show today. We just wanted to take some time to give a special shout out to our collaborator, Cat and Raven Design. They are a small queer-owned business that specializes in LGBTQ plus pride soaps. They have great designs, some that even look good to eat, but don't. You can get 10% off your entire order if you use the code DSP or go to our link tree. Help support this great small business and help give back to a great community. Do they want them to kind of do the same path that they're headed on or that they've headed on when they were younger? It's like
they don't want that, but they also don't want you to succeed. It's a weird paradox.
It's a little bit hypocritical.
It's super weird, man. Like, it never makes any sense. And my kiddos are always confused because how do they win?
Yeah.
They stay with the parent, they're probably miserable and they don't get to their goals. And then if they leave, then the parent and family thinks that they're terrible. And then we just have to work on accepting it, that some parents just don't have it to love you the way you should.
Right.
Maybe they're neurodivergent too, and it comes off as like narcissistic, but you don't have to be narcissistic and being on the spectrum. That's a different personality disorder.
Right.
Some people just suck.
Yeah. So what would be like your own advice to people who maybe not have that person in their life, like their parents, to really kind of push them to kind of push their goals? Would you say like have friends that are more like that, have a therapist that's more like that, or maybe try to seek out like maybe like a mentor or something like that?
So we've talked about that, different strategies. At the end of the day, if you don't get any of those things, there's still a good chance if you just keep moving forward that you'll make it.
Right.
And then when you finally make it to a safer place, that's when you can reach out and try to get like, counseling, other mentorships. That's when you build your network of friends.
Mm-hmm.
There's like safe chat rooms for a couple different things that are recommended through like suicide hotlines, queer hotlines, stuff like that, where you can like meet people and talk. There's certain spaces where you can get support. But when you're finally at, the collegiate, 18, 19, 25, 30,
Mm-hmm.
you no longer have to take that abuse anymore.
Right.
You shouldn't be financially dependent anymore on anyone. And even if you are, you can get off of that, You can get scholarships. You can just go on financial aid, take out big ass loans like I did.
Mm-hmm.
Then I got to pay all that money back. You gonna be suicidal or and depressed and shit and drop out of college, or you gonna take out some loans, go in debt, and then go live a happy life?
Yeah.
We got choices here. Sometimes when they get to my office, just showing them the choices.
Mm.
They come to me and I gas a lot of people up. In good ways. I like to show people on how they succeeded with me, but there's still like far to go. A client said, I just need a couple sessions. I just need a couple. I'm like, damn, what am I, like crack? I just need 2 hits. I'm good.
I swear to God, I'm good. I'm
Yeah,
good.
I'm good. And then we get to talking. I'm like, so we're on session like 3. I said, so much for them 2 sessions. Because we got a whole lot of shit we just went in.
You got that addiction
Yeah,
to your mental health.
Yeah, you got too many hits. Okay. It's just always amazing because there's always something to talk about. I think I got a couple awesome people that I work with on BetterHelp. Love these folks. And we meet weekly. We've been doing it for like almost 2 years. So this is outside of obviously working at the university.
Mm-hmm.
And I always tell them, still book the appointment and we'll find something to talk about.
Right.
And if there isn't, then we can get out. Because you already technically paid for it. When it's a subscription service like BetterHelp, you already paid for it. So we might as well talk. If it's not a subscription service and you have to pay like every time, then obviously don't waste your time and go there every week if you don't need it. But you're already paying for the 4 sessions a month. You might as well use it. And so we always end up finding things and relating things. And so I'll be like, okay. And we'll ask like specific questions. Do you like this person that you are? How are you molded into this person? And what are the things that we want to change about ourselves? What is it from childhood, from like Dolemite, that you like and you don't like? I want to say the nickname that someone told me that their childhood nickname is, but that would be wrong. But oh my God, I was like, this is funny. So we do visuals on children and who we think that, would they be proud of us, our younger versions. If your parent's the demon on your shoulder, then we need to figure out who's the good person on your shoulder. As you become of age, you now get to choose who you keep around. You get to choose the voices that are in your head too. Yes. It's a grind, Spence. There's not a full, we've talked about it before, getting the supports, but sometimes you're not able to get those. Sometimes you're just not able to get them.
Yeah, of course. And of course we have new viewers and subscribers. So
we do.
I guess.
So as Spence said, mentors are awesome, friends. There's certain resources that you can find that are free to find pockets online. Be safe, because online sucks. But there's safe pockets online. And then when you get to certain stages, it should be free. You can probably get therapy. As soon as you're of age, you no longer have to tell anyone about it. And it's free in most colleges. There's things to think of. It's really hard to make it if no one validates you. Can you make it? Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Can you make it? Yes. But you're going to be a little fucked up, and that's fine. Join a team. What we call different, not less.
Go buy the hoodie.
Not less.
Let's jump to the last scene. So this is after Rudy actually gets the money and stuff like that to start filming his movie. And this is the scene before like they first start shooting. So they've had like a bunch of other problems happen. They didn't even have like electricity in the building where they were filming and stuff like that. And through all of it, he's been able to find this like core group of people to really kind of count on, and that they're with him and for him, trying to make this movie, and then also seeing success in that. So Rudy's kind of preparing for the first scene, and he's talking to himself, and he goes into a drawer and finds a picture of him and his father and his family, which then starts really getting him not only into the character, but he's really now really letting out that anger he's had for his father for a long time. And I think that, like you said, I think that this is a great him giving himself therapy, especially when it comes to looking at the mirror. Maybe he kind of sees himself a little bit in his father, just like looks wise and things like that, or just mentally wise. He's just, seeing him and he's telling him like, hey, you rat soup eating motherfucker.
Yeah.
It's a great scene, and I picked this scene out really because it's such a great moment, him just sitting in that silence looking at the mirror at himself, trying to get into a character that would tell anybody, even if it's his father, just like, you ain't shit, and that I'm Dolemite. I made it. I did everything you said I wasn't going to. But yeah, I mean, I guess it's more of like, what do you think about this scene when you were first watching it?
Sad.
Mm.
Because you
Why?
see someone that sees a picture, and then immediately there's negative feelings and negative thoughts. There's feelings that you didn't care about me. You said I was going to be a piece of shit, a no one, and look at me now. I'm proving you wrong. So you're always trying to prove that person wrong. And so maybe you never really get any real joy, which is kind of sad because it's always about proving that person wrong.
Right.
You just hurt for him to be told that as a child, right? No one should be telling their child, this is all you'll ever be.
Mm-hmm.
You know how many children are ruined because teachers will say that, or friends or grandparents, they'll say something derogatory. That fucking kid's a loser, or he's ADHD, or he's weird as fuck. Those things actually stick with you, and
Mm-hmm.
you start to believe those things. Enough people tell you, or they tell you enough times, start to believe it.
Mm-hmm.
But for some reason, Dolemite kept staying creative,
Mm-hmm.
kept staying true to himself and what he wanted to do, his vision and his passion. And maybe he didn't get it until his 30s or 40s. He didn't even start to really maybe to get to work on it until his 40s.
Yeah. Yeah.
But at the end of the day, he still made it to the pinnacle of everything that he ever wanted. And so does it really matter if he got there in his 20s versus his 40s, 50s? I don't think it matters.
No, I don't think so either. But like I said before, man, we think that like we need to have it by our 20s, and then we need to be like retired.
Set.
Yeah, we're set. We're all ready to go when we're like 30. That's never going to be the case. It's just, for a lot of us, it's not going to be the case. Some people it will be. But for a lot of us, that's just never going to be the case. And there's nothing wrong with like just putting the work in and staying just true to yourself, and then also buying time for yourself. There's nothing wrong with that. Something could spark up, hit your career, and then it just skyrockets. Good. It could.
Yeah. I told Pops this morning, sorry to cut you off, I told him this morning, I said, man, I don't know if I can do this shit anymore. I said, what? I said, I got another 30, 40 years of working. He said, you tired already? He said, I guess I retired at 34 and went to prison. I said, yeah, I ain't going to prison now. I ain't doing that one. But, I don't know if I can do this for another 30 years, man. Grinding?
Mm-hmm.
I think I'm just tired, man. I think, just tired. The first couple of weeks of school have been tough. We're already 4 weeks into school.
Wow.
Bro, it's about to be Halloween. It's about to be 1 year since me and you went into Saginaw.
Oh, wow.
Real close to Flint, Michigan, folks, where we had Colin BFF's baby shower.
Crazy. Wow, it's almost been a year. It's crazy.
It literally feels like it was yesterday.
It really does. Really does. Just holding up drunk Colin.
Yes, and then I thought he died. Turns out he almost drowned in a shower.
Yeah.
In the morning.
I'd never thought that was going to be a problem.
That's
Never
the thing. Yeah, I guess for some reason he likes to sit in the shower drunk. And he clogged up the drain, and he was like coughing in the pool of water. And I'm like, Jesus, man. How'd he die? He drowned in the shower.
I would love it if his little baby girl saw this.
Oh my gosh, she'll see it one day. I'll tell her about it. I mean, technically, I have it on camera saved in my phone because his Tesla caught him puking in the morning. So that'll always be a good story like 10 years from now.
Yeah, and then we have I have that video of us carrying him back to the
that's right,
to the hotel room. So that was fun while he's in his onesie.
In his onesie. Yeah, 1 year. Going back to the thing, you know, me
Yeah.
and Colin and you might have had some weird childhoods, but we didn't have anyone saying that we would be worthless or terrible or rat shit, right? I mean,
Yeah.
my mom was still a good mom. My mom,
Yeah.
she still was. She never said nothing like that.
Right.
She might have got mad at me and called me stupid, this and that, here and there, right? Or because I was acting up, but she never said those things. Though that's real toxic. Mom's always told me I was going to be something.
Mm-hmm.
I was talking at the funeral to one of the cousins, and he wanted me to speak to his children, which I did, about college and staying clean and all that. I said, you know, my mom took me to the church one day, and the pastor said, you know, your son's going to heal a lot of people one day. I didn't even have a major picked. I
Mm-hmm.
remember that. See, he's going to heal a lot of people one day. I can just tell. I'm sure he's just talking shit, but still, things like that make you be like, damn, they were right.
Yeah.
They were right. And
Yeah.
it makes you think, how did they know? What did
Mm-hmm.
they see that I didn't see? What did they see? Why do students like me so much? Why did the one girl the other day go, the other day go, I like your vibe. It's, you know, I had another neurodivergent student new in there. It was awesome talking to this person. Oh, I loved it.
Mm-hmm.
I said, my room's okay, right? And they said, what do you mean? I said, I got a lot of shit in here. And they said, yeah, it's okay. It's a little, you know, a little bothersome because overwhelming.
Mm-hmm.
So the lights are okay, the fans are okay. Yeah, it was all okay. So we just kept talking. And the person already knows they're on the spectrum. They've been diagnosed on the spectrum. But the way I can articulate things and pinpoint why they're being overloaded and how to structurally regulate themselves and why they're freaking out, just finding out why you're freaking out being on the spectrum is
Mm-hmm.
literally life-changing. You may already know you're on the spectrum, but you don't know why you're destabilizing and having panic attacks. And I'm able to articulate it in a way and feed it to you. And you're like, holy shit, I already knew that. Yeah, you didn't. You just didn't have the words.
Right.
As soon as I identify things, I'm like, this is why people go to therapy, homie. Now we're off and running. And this depression that you're facing, not sure if it is depression. I think it's you being overwhelmed and not being able to recover and not having your own personal space.
Right.
And so it's quite interesting being able to help these individuals figure this out. So I went on this divergence because it's wonderful working with people, and I wondered if I'd get to it in this pod, and we are. I love when my students come to me on the spectrum. We can talk about wonderful things, and we can only build on it. We can build on it. It's good. But sadly, I had someone come, and I said, "So, man, I think all this shit that's going on, homie. I think you're on the spectrum." And this was after they said their therapist years ago asked a question. I said, "You are,"
Mm-hmm.
and I haven't had this reaction in a long time. They just start crying.
Mm-hmm.
It's intense. I don't want that. They say, well, homie, you got it. So I don't know what to tell you. This is why you're dissociating. This is why there's eating issues and you're
Mm-hmm.
restricting. This is why you're anxious as shit and you can't regulate in the bed in your bedroom. This is why you're freaking out in class. This is why you don't like loud noises. This is why. Oh. So now that we know this, we can strategize and actually do real therapy instead of you just going in there and like complaining about these symptoms.
Right.
Where if that person goes to their family, the family's going to be like, man up, quit bullshit. You're being dramatic. You're already taking medicine, and they're not even on the right medicine. You're already taking medicine. And so the student only feels like more shit because they are acting up, but everyone thinks they're faking it. They ain't faking it.
Right.
They're neurologically different than all these other humans. One of the parents has to be on the spectrum, obviously. But your kid's different. It was awesome to change that person's life. Those moments, homie,
Yeah.
are life-changing.
Yeah.
Because you validate someone, you tell them I see you, you tell them I understand you.
Right.
Kids like, wow, I can't believe you understood the things that I said. I said, yep. You didn't say a lot of real good shit, but you said enough for me to put it together.
You said some things.
Student today, bro, story time. Student
Okay.
today, they was like, have you heard of the movie called The Buff or The Buff Man or not Duff, or maybe it's Duff. The
It might
duff.
be. Isn't that like the ugly friend or something like that?
Oh, maybe that's what it is. Oh, that
Yeah.
makes sense. That's why they said that. I said, what are you trying to say, kid? Like, I get it. All your friends got, boyfriends and girlfriends. Everyone's shacking up, and you ain't got no one. I get it. You're mad. You're jealous, right? You want to be with someone. I'm like, what's the word? They said duff. Well, I don't want to talk about it. Well, you just brought it up. I said, what is it like being cuckolded? I don't understand. They go, I ain't being cuckolded by my
Go.
friends. I said,
Know what that means? Go Google it. You'll
if you don't know what that
probably
means,
put the
Google
safe
it.
search on.
Safe search, cuckold.
Blurry photos in there.
They go, I ain't being cucked. I said, well, okay, well, I'm just, thinking of what the hell you talking about. Duff,
Right. Yeah.
cuck, it's close. Bro, they were so cringed, bro. They were so cringed.
Yeah.
It was the highlight of the day.
That's great.
Highlight
Yeah.
of the day. They're like, what the fuck? I said, go tell your friends what your therapist said.
You're a cuck.
Oh, another story. I was talking to one client, and we were talking about, life, existentialism, not finding partners, all this crazy stuff, being neurodivergent and weird, and how they're self-sabotaging by like deleting everyone on Tinder, swiping left the wrong way, and there's a bunch of defense mechanism shit so they don't get hurt again. And so we talk about it. She, I ain't got much time to find someone. I said, girl, you're Mexican. He's a half. I said, but you're Mexican, so brown, we take a long time for us to spoil. And I said, your mama Mexican? And she said, no, mama white. I said, damn, too bad. And she said, my dad Mexican. I said, he good looking, ain't he? She said, well, I'm not talking about my dad being good looking. I bet you he good looking.
He got a mustache too. I bet he look good with a mustache.
Oh, yeah, that motherfucker be all in the milk. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Had the milk mustache.
Oh my God.
Oh, the hummus mustache. Yeah.
Oh my
God. And then I said, don't you tell none of your friends that I said your dad. And then she goes like, yeah, my therapist was talking about how my dad looks good. And I said, what?
What?
She got me. I didn't realize she was making a joke. And I was like, shut up now.
Don't you tell nobody.
Don't you tell no one, motherfucker. Later on, I said, remember, you got a lot of good things going for you. You're good looking just like your dad. And they just cracked up.
Good with mustache. That look good.
Never. I have no idea what their dad looks like. I just thought it was funny as shit.
What? I bet she'll look good with a mustache.
Yeah, hey, everyone does.
Yeah.
Look at Vince McMahon.
Oh my. Oh my God! Such a pedo stash. Jesus.
Oh, he looks so bad. So
looked like it was stenciled in with a Sharpie.
It's bad. Oh yeah, it looks like it's tattooed. Okay, so we talked a lot about like parents, obviously.
Yeah.
All great metaphors, but like legit literal examples of someone getting completely shit on.
Yeah.
Dolemite in this last scene is doing his best to fight these negative connotations and verbally express them. A therapist would have you do that. A therapist would have you write it down and then verbalize it to the therapist themselves or to role play it in the mirror. I have my clients do this before any big conversation.
Okay.
I was having an RA do this in a workshop because I think she's getting bullied or teased by her residents. Like, oh no, they like me. And then all the other RAs like, no, honey, they fucking with you.
Right.
I said, yeah, you need to email me. We need to talk about some shit so you can like talk to them. I said, better yet, just chat GBT this shit. The one girl goes, we're not supposed to do that. I said, well, does it?
Use it right now.
Does it now.
Let those robots talk for you.
Yeah. The way he is expressing the anger is valid. And he's going to channel that anger just like Arnold Schwarzenegger in the podcast that we did. He's going to use those emotions to actually make his acting better because you have to let out the emotions.
Yeah.
And this is what I'll probably end on, and then we can go to a question and then get out. I do a lot of working with my young women on letting out anger. That is not a normal thing that we allow women to express because they're supposed to be more feminine, more caring, more affectionate, more docile. Whether you
Mhm.
agree with that or not, that is the societal norm for most cultures. Men are able to express it. It's fine. Oh, the boys will be boys. Look at him shoot that other kid. Oh, it's so funny.
Ah,
And so working with my young women, it's always trying to get out some of that toxicity because
mhm.
it's just sitting in there stewing. So how do we get it out so where we're more comfortable speaking our voice, talking with our chest up, like confident, not
No,
like not dead chest,
but
chest out,
yeah,
confidence, head
tell
up,
him.
not
Tell him
head bent
that
down.
just tell him.
Well, as they said in Marvelous Miss Maisel, they go boobs up. um, but for real, I do a lot of work on confidence with women speaking their mind. It doesn't
Mhm.
matter to what gender they're talking to, but specifically themselves speaking their mind. Because you don't need to cower in front of someone, and you don't need to break eye contact with some of these bullies or other people. If you're neurodivergent, you can't make eye contact, that's fine. But I usually don't like a lot of my folks to break eye contact. You look at them, let them know you ain't scared of them, and then you look away slowly. But don't just put your head down in fear.
Yeah,
Um, I would probably tell Dolemite to do that to his dad when he sees him, or if he was still alive. That you shake his hand and you'd be like, "Yep, this is what I did," and then you keep going.
I will say though is that talked about it a little bit in the movie about how they're from Arkansas, um, and you want to like you have to think it's kind of like what's that one movie, Fences with
Ooh, that's a tough one.
Denzel. That's a tough one, right? Where the father figure is a lot tougher on his son
Yep,
because he's been through a lot of shit,
yep,
right? And that might be the case here, even though it's really wrong. It's just like, he probably has to get a lot of bullshit from, a lot of people, especially being from the South and things like that, and having your own farm and things like that. It's like,
yeah.
and then you bring that home. That's not really excusing how he treated his son or any of the family, right? Being
It's outside the
abusive.
cultural norm, though. It's outside the norm of black folk, maybe in the South, and you're not, you're supposed to be working on the farm, masculine.
Yep.
So picture it as someone that's neurodivergent and breaking the norm. Picture as someone that is, is coming out as gay or coming out as trans. It's outside the norm. Whatever the
Right.
picture that the family had for you is now
Mm-hmm.
gone. So the family goes through grief, and sometimes people express grief through anger.
Mm-hmm.
People do not like what is new or change or different. Most people will see different as less.
Mm-hmm.
But that's why we have the clothing line, different, not less. Spencer points to it. Go ahead. Go ahead and just rub it right on the tongue. Yeah. You look like you trying to shove your hand up someone's bra.
Well, let me
You
tell
know,
you,
you
won't
got
be
some
the last
experience.
time I ever try that. Hey, babe, come here. Like, damn, underwire. Shit's
Yeah,
terrible.
otherwise, yeah, I don't know. It's been a while.
Let me tell you something. Underwire kills momentum like no other.
Jesus Christ. That's why you just got to have them do it for you.
Yep. Just like, come on.
But then you got to have one of them clap on ones.
Oh, there it is. There it goes.
Yeah, there we go. Yeah, man, I don't even know what he's talking about. We talking about being different,
Neither.
not less.
Um, I actually think that one day we'll probably do Fences at some point.
I seen that it just came out on Netflix. It just came out on some streaming. It was Netflix. Yep.
Probably did. Okay.
Yep.
I do that at some point. I remember actually, I saw the play when I was younger.
Oh,
So I actually got to see the play. And it was really, really good. It was
intense.
either that or like we went through the actual, like the play itself in class or something like that.
Yeah,
Um,
intense.
but yeah, very intense. I don't know. I mean, what would you, so you've already kind of given your therapy, like what would you do if you saw Dolemite in your therapy?
Yeah, I did and I didn't.
room?
If I had him in the office, I would
Yeah.
first listen to what he has to say, let him express the anger. I would try to build him back up and show him all the things that he's done. I would provide a loving environment,
Mm-hmm.
and I would allow them to keep failing, and then I would allow them to get mad at me and without me running away or getting mad at them.
Right.
I would show them positive, unconditional regard and allowing them to express whatever they needed, but then also pushing them forward because they want someone to be happy and to push them forward.
Right.
They want someone to be happy, and so I'll be your cheerleader. Oh, what's that one guy? Cheerleader. There's a cheerleader song. It's a cheerleader song. I don't know.
No. Yeah. What the fuck are you talking about?
I'll look it up.
Okay. You look that up. You'll find it. Jesus Christ. Cheerleader song.
It's a
What?
cheerleader song.
What cheerleader song is there? It's gonna be like, oh my gosh, what? I can't hear shit. Your mic's blast. It's there. It is. Hey, this is your co-host Spencer, and I'm bringing you a special message from our collaborator, Silver Dollar Candles. They have great scents to go with great messages, just like Best Dad Ever, True Crime and Chill, and my personal favorite, When This Candle Is Lit, Give Me That. You can also make your own candle and message that fits you. So go use our link in our link tree to get your order placed with Silver Dollar Candles today. Mike is cutting it out. This is the worst podcast we've ever shot. Okay.
When I need motivation, my queen, because she stays strong. Yeah. She's my cheerleader. It's sung by Omi. O-M-I.
Why the fuck would I know that?
You know the song.
No,
Do you need me? Do you think I'm pretty? Oh my God, I'm so done. Why am I singing?
I don't know.
I'm cutting.
What is? Thank God. You're not gonna cut it. I know you're not. Yeah. So any type of advice? Well, actually, you know what? Could you kind of go through like what's the difference between like kind of confidence and then also positive self-talk?
Okay, then we'll get out. So someone who's probably confident does a lot of positive self-talk.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's one distinction there, but not all people do positive self-talk. A lot of people actually mostly have negative thoughts throughout the day, automatic negative thoughts, which we've talked about on the pod.
Mm-hmm.
So it's specifically like, I'm not good, I'm too ugly, I'm too fat, I'm too bald, I'm too tall, I'm too short, I'm not intelligent enough, I don't make enough money. Those are all the negative things. I don't do this right. Oh my God, what if I do this wrong? I'm so stupid. Negative thoughts. So positive self-talk will be reframing some of those using logic. Are you actually those things? Some of you are going to say yes, because low self-worth is hell. I don't know what else to say. He's like, you know what, Nas, I ain't shit. I'm like, oh, fuck it.
Okay, sure you're not.
Yeah, I'll put it on a shirt. Ain't shit. Someone that is confident usually trusts who they are. They have what we call good, solid ego strength. They have a positive self-identity, an identity. They know their identity isn't just one thing. It isn't just academics or isn't just a really good sibling, or it's multiple things, and they know what they stand for. They also know that their identity will change over time, that they're not the same person that they were in 10th grade, that they're going to be in college, that they're going to be when they're 30. But they know that they believe in themselves to make the correct choices. They know that maybe they aren't the smartest, but then they can consult with other people and find the right answers. Confident people believe in themselves to figure it out. People that just think they're the best at everything, confident, but also a little narcissistic.
Okay.
People that believe that they have the ability to handle things are confident. Those people aren't just born confident. They have people validating, showing them that they can do it and they can overcome and achieve.
Right.
It's the people that haven't had that become a little less confident. Maybe they had too much pressure. Maybe they were the badass in almost everything. Then they get to the college and like, holy shit, I'm not confident anymore because everyone's smart as shit. Positive self-talk, when insecure, when scared, is not just faking it until you're making it. It's probably even just being more rational about things. So, I'm terrible at math. I'm the worst person in math. I am the dumbest person on this earth in math. Is it true? you're actually probably better than most people at math, and you're like in calculus. So you're actually pretty good at it than most people in the United States. You just struggle on this compared to 5% of the entire population. So you're actually pretty good at these things, and you're not an idiot. Positive self-talk is, you know what, I struggle in math, and it takes me a little bit longer, but I'll figure it out. I've been good at math before, and I've enjoyed math, but at this current time, I'm struggling. There's ways to talk about it which can shed an actual real and a positive light on it. Maybe I'm not good at this one thing, but I'm actually good at these many other things.
Right.
Maybe I'm not the best at math, but science and reading and writing, I'm actually very good. Positive self-talk. When the world tells you you are shit, sometimes you can even just say that you are really good at some things, and just maybe you'll believe it if you say it. Positive self-talk is a good thing to do. So what he's doing in that scene is some positive self-talk, but also some of it's just getting out some anger and some frustration.
Right.
And I wouldn't say he's fully confident, because he keeps getting shit on, and everyone keeps telling him no.
Yeah.
But the confidence comes after he gets a lot of wins. He gets some wins, the movies are coming out. Now the confidence is there. Yeah. Now you actually believe the positive self-talk. You don't even have to do self-talk, because it's already automatic positive thoughts instead of negative. I'm glad you asked that question. I'm glad we got to it. Folks that are a little bit more insecure, a little bit more anxious, will have a lot of negative self-talk. That's just automatic. You have to force yourself to say positive things, to say grounded things, to say logical things. I'm glad we got to that. That was a good way to end.
Yeah, of course. And please go on Netflix, check out Dolemite Is My Name. Great film, and then it ends great too. They're at the premiere, ready to go see the movie, and he's like, you know what? I'm not gonna go see the movie. I'm gonna ignore this. He doesn't even go see the movie. He goes and actually just talks to the fans that have been waiting outside and are going to be waiting outside to see the movie. So great way to end it, and love the movie. Love Eddie Murphy. So with that is the show. Like we said before, go check out our Spotify polls. And if you're listening on Spotify, just do it real quick. Easy to do. You're already on there, so might as well try it. And then if you're not on Spotify, go on to our Instagram. We have a lot of questions. We have a lot of polls on there as well. So go check them out. Leave some comments underneath some of our posts on what you think about some of the clips that we're posting. And soon we'll be posting a little bit more on TikTok.
Yes.
A little bit more on TikTok. Yes.
Yes.
And we'll actually be doing like user content instead of kind of just posting clips. Because that's what we were doing before, and took our profile down. Sons of bitches. Fucking all this shitty content is on TikTok. Okay, let's take off this one because they're about to hit 1,000 followers. Bastards.
That's what it is.
I'm not mad at it at all. And then please go check out our great collaborators that you can check out in our link tree, and go check out our merch that is also in our link tree. Is that Blastoise? Looks like a Blastoise.
Yeah.
Nice.
You got the same body as me.
You do have water guns coming out of your back. So
I do. It's called acne.
I'll get you. All right, please go check out our merch, and then also use the code DSP and DSP20 for all of our great collaborators. Get up to 20% off your entire order. With that, I'm Spencer. That's Nas. This is the Different Spectrums podcast.
All right, everyone. Much love, and remember, take care of yourselves.
Or don't.
That's up to you.
You rat-eating soup motherfucker.
Oh, my God. Goodbye.